This is Cable 18, the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.
Just when I thought all was lost, you changed my mind. You gave me hope, not just the old soft stuff. You showed that we could learn to share in time. You and I and everybody else. Keep plugging on. Your face will shine so sweet and fair. And when we sing a little sing-along song, we hope that precious friends you will be there. Singing harmony, precious friends you will be just when I thought all was lost, you changed my mind. You gave me hope, as the old song sung. You showed that we could learn to share in time. You and I and everybody else. Keep plugging on. Your face will shine so sweet and fair. And when we sing a little sing-along song, we hope that precious friends you will be there.
Opportunity to welcome all of you to our assembly program today. It's a very, very special one. It's one that has never taken place before, boys and girls, and it's going to be another 25 years before it can happen again. Today is the 25th birthday of our building, of the dedication of our building. So I'd like to welcome all of you to this very special program. And to our guests, we also welcome you. We're very honored to have some special people with us today, very special people, and we'll be introducing them to you as the program moves along. At this time, we would like to begin with our flag salute. So if everyone will please rise where you are, leave the aisle.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance. Thank the girls from our school, the Brownies, and the Girl Scouts for the opening exercise this morning. I did forget to mention, I'm very happy to see so much blue and gold. Where I'm standing, kids, is just like a wave of blue and gold. That is, they are the school's colors, and we're quite proud of them. The next part of our program will be a musical selection with our Russell Knight School Band under the direction of Mr. Fisher. Mr. Fisher?
Waiting for a couple of our students to our and Girl Scouts to come up on stage. 25 years ago, whenever Russell Knight was first opened, we did not have both bands and orchestras in the school. We only had orchestras with instruments, both wind and string instruments. Since that time, we have divided and we have both a band and an orchestra. So since the orchestra played 25 years ago at the first program, we decided to let the band play at the 25th anniversary. We're going to be playing a piece that was written since Russell Knight was opened. You'll recognize this as the theme from the movie Chariots of Fire.
We thank Mr. Fisher, boys and girls, for performing for us. At this time, we are honored to introduce a guest who 25 years ago was doing a lot of work for the township of what was called then the Delaware Township. At that time, Mayor Gilmore was working here to help us, help the city, the township of Cherry Hill to grow. So what we would like to do is to ask Mayor Gilmore if you would please stand. And sir, we understand you do have a few words you would like to say to us. Would you like to come up? Mayor Gilmore?
to all of you people right here. You know, it's a tremendous pleasure and an honor to be able to be here this afternoon and see all of you people here enjoying what we thought was the beginning of a dream 25 years ago. This is the beginning of the second generation for this school. And when you start to talk about generations, you talk about years. And 25 years ago, when we dedicated this school, we dedicated it to the future of Cherry Hill. The future of Cherry Hill is still growing in this school. And here before me this afternoon is the product of the growing of Cherry Hill. And I want to charge each one of you youngsters this afternoon. Remember, you can be anything you want to be if you look at the star and follow it. 25 years ago, we said that to a group of young people. And those young people have grown up. They are now your fathers and mothers and the leaders of this township. You can be the leaders of tomorrow. It's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you for having me on.
For your kind words and words of encouragement. And boys and girls, I strongly suggest when you get some time later today to think about what the mayor just said. Has an awful lot of meaning to you, and the future is up to you. And I just hope that we here this year and in the several years to come can keep that dream going by providing you with as best an educational program as we can. We're also honored this afternoon to have with us our present mayor of Cherry Hill, and we've asked her also to come and join us. Mayor Levine, we welcome you.
I'm really glad to be here to help celebrate your birthday because birthday parties are one of my very favorite things. And I have two daughters. One little girl is Amy, and she's 9, and then I have a daughter, Lisa, who is 13. So I know from Amy and Lisa's friends how very special it is to celebrate a birthday party. Now, when I was asked to speak here, I was told that the theme of the program is then and now. And Mayor Gilmore, who just spoke, was the mayor then, and I'm the mayor now. I started to think back where I was 25 years ago, and I was 11 years old at the time. So I asked your principal if I could get someone who's about 11 years old to help me out. Are you about 11, Eric? How old? Well, 10 and a half, that's close enough. See, when you're that age, you count half years. We don't count half years anymore. So I started to think back about what it was like 25 years ago when I went to school and I was 11 years old. So I thought maybe we could compare a few things. Like, Eric, you're pretty dressed up today, but do you usually dress like that to come to school?
No,
What do you usually wear?
just regular clothes like sweatpants and sweatshirts.
Sweatpants and sweatshirts, dungarees, sometimes jeans?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I went to school, you weren't allowed to wear sweatpants to school. And you know what? The girls weren't allowed to wear pants at all. Not at all. You had to wear a skirt or a dress every single day. I'm sure all the adults back there remember that, right? We weren't allowed to wear sneakers to school except on gym days. So that what we wore to school was very different then than it is now. I should tell you that I love seeing your blue and your gold because my high school colors were blue and gold. So it's great to look out and see the colors that you wear. Now tell me this, who is your favorite rock group? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Now, we didn't have Def Leppard, we didn't have Madonna, we didn't have most of the groups that you knew then. When I was 11 years old, the Beatles came to America for the very first time. You heard of the Beatles? You've heard of the Beatles, right? Well, they were the biggest thing to hit music, and they came to America from England. And I can remember being 11 and listening. Now, don't you ever do this. But we brought little transistor radios the day the Beatles landed in America, and we listened to the transistor radios underneath our desks. But you won't ever do that, right? Because then the teachers will be mad at me, and they'll say I'm setting a bad example. Who's the president now?
President Bush.
President Bush. And where's he from? Do you know? Anybody know what state he's from? Texas. Well, the president then was Johnson, Lyndon Johnson, and you know what? He was from Texas too. So, very different, but some ways the same. What's your favorite subject, Eric? You have one?
No.
No? You like them all? That's great. No, you don't like any of them, right? Tell me what subjects you study.
Math, reading, language, social studies, science.
Okay, well, you know, we had those same subjects, except we called them different names. We didn't call it math, we called it arithmetic. We didn't call it social studies, we called it geography or history. But they were basically the same things. In science, if I say space to you, what do you think of?
Rocket ships,
Rocket ships,
the moon.
the moon, the stars. When I went to school, when I was 11 years old, going to the moon was something that people talked about that maybe would happen in the future if we worked real hard and tried real hard. But now you know that man can go to the moon. What it shows you is, as Mayor Gilmore said, whatever you want to do, we can do. Now, we didn't have erasable pens, we didn't have trapper keepers, we didn't have multiples, we didn't even have Nintendo, if you can believe that. But I know that really got you. But what we did have then, and it's what you have now, is the joy of learning. What you have now in your school, what will you remember? What do you think is best about this school, Eric? What's good about it?
Nice people, nice teachers.
Nice people and nice teachers. And you know, when I was thinking last night about when I was 11 years old, that's exactly what I thought about. Because what is so wonderful about our schools are the friends that you all have and the wonderful teachers that take the time to care about you and that will make a difference for all of you. And let me just end by saying why that's so important to all of us. Because as Mayor Gilmore said, you are the future. What Eric does in his life, what all of you do in your life, is important not just for you and not just for your parents, but for all of us. Because the then becomes the now, and someday one of you will stand up here and talk at the 50th anniversary of Russell Knight School about what it was like today. So with that, I say good luck to all of you. Happy birthday.
Mayor Levine, we do thank you also for your words of encouragement. And boys and girls, you've heard that now from two different people, and you hear it almost every day from your parents and from your teachers, that everything is here for you, that you've got to also want to enjoy to do it. And in 25 years, when you look back, we do hope sincerely that you can look back upon these years as being very happy years, and that hopefully you'll remember all the teachers you had and how good they are. And I hope sort of kind of maybe you might also remember your principal and maybe how good he was too. Very good. At this time, it's a highlight for me, and I hope it is for everyone else, because I have a real honor and privilege at this time to introduce to you members of the Knight family. As you know, our school is named after Mr. A. Russell Knight, and we'll tell you a little bit about him in a short while. but members of his family have come this afternoon to join us to help us celebrate this 25th birthday. And what I would like to do at this time is to introduce each one of them to you, and then I believe Mrs. Barbiers is going to have a few words she would like to say for us also. Okay, now, we have with us today Mr. Knight's daughter and Mr. Knight's son. And I'd like to introduce first his daughter, Mrs. Barbiers. And with her is her daughter, Mr. Knight's granddaughter, Mrs. Smith, Gail Smith. And along with her, she has brought her two daughters, Mr. Knight's great-grandchildren. And we have first Autumn Smith, and we have also next to her Ashley Smith. Okay. Now also, Mr. Knight had a son, and I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Russell Knight. Mr. Knight. And he has brought along with him his lovely wife, Mrs. Knight. And Mr. Knight has two children, are Mr. Knight's grandchildren. We have Aaron Russell Knight II. And Aaron, you do have a very proud name to carry, and we're very happy that you could join us also. And with him is his sister, Amanda Knight. Amanda? I forgot one. And also along with them is David Knight. David, thank you for coming also. At this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Barbiers to come up and talk with us for just a few moments. Mrs. Barbiers? Thank you.
I was a teacher once upon a time, and I know two of the teachers. Well, one is no longer here, but I believe one is still here. Mrs. Bieberbach. Okay. I wouldn't want to tell anything out of place, but she's gotten older. I haven't. It is with great pride and humility that we, the family of A. Russell Knight, are here today. We join with you in celebrating the 25th birthday of this living, working memorial to a man whose whole life, even to death, was devoted to the youth of our community. My brother and I are very proud of our father and find it difficult to speak of him without becoming emotional. We have tried, however, to convey this pride to his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Your invitation to this celebration has helped us perpetuate his personage and principles, and we thank you for this. We pray that the children who have attended the A. Russell Knight School have felt the love that he had for children through the care, devotion, and dedication of the teachers and administrators assigned here. We hope and trust that these essential qualities will continue to prevail as future generations come to the A. Russell Knight School for the mortar that provides a strong, firm educational foundation to their young lives. Thank you very much. We are very proud.
We do thank all of you for joining us, and we thank you for your words. Boys and girls, I'd like to just give you a little background of who Mr. Knight was. We know that our school is named after him. We know that we have a portrait of Mr. Knight out in the foyer, and we see it every day. Well, first of all, Mr. Knight was born in Ohio. That's a couple of states away from us. But when he was 2 years old, he then came here to New Jersey, and he lived in Glassboro. And I'm sure most of you, many of you, know where Glassboro is. All right? He went through all of the Glassboro schools, and when he graduated from high school, he went on to Glassboro State College. And when he was done there, and that was in 1925, he then went on to Rutgers University. When he was all done with his college education, he came to Delaware Township, as it was called then, it's now called Cherry Hill, as what they called then a supervising principal, a teaching principal. And a teaching principal is one person who has a classroom, and at the same time, he also has to run the school. That's how it used to be way back then. Now, you know, we have classroom teachers and we have principals in our buildings. We did that for many, many years. Shortly thereafter, he became the superintendent of Cherry Hill. And at that time, they didn't call them superintendents, they called them supervising school supervisors. So even the titles have changed in those few years. Okay. When Mr. Knight took over Cherry Hill, there were only 28 teachers. Now we have almost 1,000. All right. And there were 658 children in Cherry Hill, 658. Today, I believe we're close to 14,000. I believe that's what it is. All right? So we have really, really grown. Do you realize, boys and girls, that half, if we were to double the number of people here, that's how many there were in Cherry Hill 25 years ago. So it really has grown. And during those years, Mr. Knight was very active and very farsighted. He kept looking to the future, helping to plan the building of all the schools, the high school East, and many of the other elementary schools that have since been built. And during all that time, he not only helped the people in Cherry Hill, but he was very much involved in everything in education in our county and in our state. He was in the PTA and many different teacher associations, the New Jersey Teachers Association, the National Association, and many, many others. In 1954, Glassboro State College presented him with a certificate of being an outstanding graduate from Glassboro State. With all of that background, and with all that Mr. Knight did for the boys and girls of Cherry Hill, it was decided then, 25 years ago, that this building would be dedicated to his honor. And as we have said earlier, and as we continue to say, all of us want to make sure that that is something that we all do well in, and we continue to honor Mr. Knight and the education that he wanted for all of us. And we've got to keep working in that particular direction. Okay. Now, I have a letter from Mr. Bernstein. Mr. Bernstein was the second principal of Russell Knight, and he sends to all of you his best wishes. He's in Florida having a wonderful, wonderful time. Mr. Bernstein is doing some teaching. Can you imagine? He teaches 3 days a week. He has 7 children in his class, and he teaches only a half a day each day. And the rest of the time, he goes out on the beach and has a lot of fun. But he does send you all his best regards, particularly for the staff members who will be joining us who worked with Mr. Bernstein. Mr. Kerr, who was the first principal, unfortunately cannot make it. So I had a conversation with him the other day, and we compared. Way back then, kids, 25 years ago, there were 12 buses that came to this school. Today, we only have 5. Okay? 25 years ago, 1 week after the dedication, that would be next Thursday, they had such a bad snowstorm, they had to close all the schools. So maybe there's hope yet, kids. Okay. Also, way back then, they didn't have teacher aides as we know them. And because our teacher aides do so much for us, and their job is important, teachers had to do that. Teachers had to eat in the classroom with the kids. They had to go out on the playground and play with them. We still do a lot of that. Also, as you know, Mr. Morgan is our librarian. 25 years ago, kids, there was one librarian for all the schools. And maybe you saw the librarian once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But nowadays, as you know, we have one in all of our schools. Also, way back then, they used to teach French in the elementary school. When Mayor Levine was up, she mentioned science and the stars and the moons and so on. At that time, the Russians put a satellite, Sputnik, up into space. And it created such an unrest in our country that we started teaching science the same way we teach math and reading. That is, breaking the children into groups, going to different teachers for different activities. So science was taught then the way we teach our math and our reading now. Okay? Some of the fun things that happened way back then. They didn't have television sets in the school. So our PTA then was very concerned about that. So they decided they'll have a paper drive. And they advertised it, and people started bringing the paper to the back of the school. Mr. Kerr said they came with carriages loaded. They had wagons, and they were loaded with paper. People came in cars and unloaded it. It was all piled up in the back of the school, waiting for the truck to come and pick it up. But, as luck would have it, believe it or not, a windstorm came. You can imagine what that did to the paper. Mr. Kerr said for weeks they were picking it up because not all these houses were here. It was out all in the woods. And so the kids were out regularly picking up paper, but the paper blew all over the place. But the PTA still bought them the TV sets. Another thing, Harry, is Harry here? Harry used to be a custodian here. Mr. Harry was a custodian here several years ago. And you know how we had field day? Well, way back then, he was so interested in field day and loved to participate in it, he had a suggestion to Mr. Kerr. And that was, why don't we have a contest with a greased pig? Now, a greased pig is a pig, and you cover it with grease, and you try to catch it. Okay? Oh, there's more. So, they built a pen out on the playground, okay? And they put the pig in it, and they chose a couple of the kids to go into this big pen to try and grab the pig, and it was a game, it was a contest. But Mr. Kerr said the pig got so nervous and so giddy that he bumped into the barrier and knocked it over. Then he said the pig started running all over the field. 400 children started running after the pig. 25 teachers started running after it. And Mr. Kerr started running after the teacher. Needless to say, that was the last time then that they had anything like that. Nowadays, we have our field day, and we have all kinds of organized games, and we have a lot of fun. Okay? One other point I'd like to make, boys and girls. You know, out on our back playground, we have several benches. And around those benches are quite a few trees. Those trees were planted many, many years ago in honor of Mr. Knight. And so they have grown, and we have a shady spot in the summer where we can sit. But those trees out there were planted in his honor.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the ocean waters. This land was
It's nice to be here and help celebrate the 25th anniversary of the building and opening of this school. As everyone else has reminisced, birthdays are for celebrations, but you can't help but think about the past, and 25 years ago was the first year that I began teaching, and teaching in a school district in the northern part of the state. And 25 years of enjoyment have occurred ever since I started teaching. Education is an exciting place to be, and a challenging place and rewarding place. And I encourage many of you to hopefully follow in the footsteps of Mr. Knight, maybe some of your teachers, and maybe me. Hopefully you'll find an experience like Mr. Knight's and my own. It sounds like Mr. Knight and the board members of that time, as well as our former mayor, had some good ideas and insights and needs for the future. Their story and background reminded me of a story in ancient times of a king who had a huge boulder placed in a roadway, a major highway, in his kingdom. He then hid and watched to see if anyone would remove it. He wanted to find out what kind of subjects existed in his kingdom. Some of the kingdom's biggest noblemen came by, walked around the rock, disappeared, didn't bother to touch it. Then others, big merchants, they came by, even cursed the king for not keeping the highway cleared of the big boulders. Then a peasant farmer came along. He was carrying a heavy pack of vegetables to take to market. He came across the boulder, put his burden down on the roadside, and began pushing and straining and gradually pushed that boulder to the side of the road. Gradually, he stood up, went over to pick up his vegetable pack, and looked back where the rock was, and there was a purse where the rock was. He looked over, picked it up, and inside were many gold coins and a note from the king. And the note said that this gold is for the person who removes a stone from the highway. That day, the peasant learned an important lesson, as well as many of us have since that time, that every obstacle presents an opportunity to improve one's condition. 25 years ago, there was a need for a school. An obstacle stood in the way. That's to build that school so that generations of people could enjoy and learn the lessons that can be taught in school so they wouldn't have to be learned out on the road. So today with that message, I look forward to seeing you maybe apply for a job here in this district or go on to be leaders in this community or elsewhere. And congratulate you for helping make Knight School what it is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Esbrandt. We also have with us this afternoon another person who is very much involved in Cherry Hill and very interested in the educational program here. And I'd like to introduce to you at this time the President of the Board of Education, Eleanor Stoffman. Mrs. Stoffman.
Thank you very much for inviting me here today. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to congratulate you all on your 25th birthday and your celebration on your anniversary. When I first received the invitation in January, I had to think about what message I would like to leave with you today. And I thought of an article that the school board had received in their information packet about 2 years ago. And it was something that was very special to me at the time, and I thought I had saved it. And so I looked through my filing cabinet, and I looked through my desk, and I looked through my papers, and I couldn't find this special article that I wanted to share with you. Finally, last week, I spoke to the superintendent, and he too remembered this special article, and he thought that maybe his secretary in his office could find it. So she was given the task to look for it. Over the weekend, I was reading the Knight School newsletter, the Nightlines, and the article that I have been searching for 5 weeks appears in your newsletter. So I felt that it was really meant to be that this is what I share with you today. The title is All I Ever Really Wanted to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. Most of what I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but there in the sandbox at nursery school. These are the things I learned. Share everything, play fair, Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt someone. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw some and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. I'd like to do that. When you go out into the world, watch for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the plastic cup. The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. And then remember the book about Dick and Jane and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know is there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and sane living. Think of what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk about 3 every afternoon, then lay down with our blankets for a nap. Or if we had a basic policy in our nation and other nations to always put things back where we found them and cleaned up after our own messes. And it is still true, no matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. Thank you.
Just when I thought all was lost, you changed my mind. You gave me hope as the old soft stuff. You showed that we could learn to share in time. You and I and everybody else. Keep plugging on. Your face will shine so sweet.
Just like any birthday party, there's got to be a lot of singing and a lot of happiness. That's great. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Mrs. Barone, who is the president of our present PTA. She has some things she would like to do at this time. So, Mrs. Barone.
Over the past few weeks, many of you may have heard Mrs. McCafferty, Mrs. Holt, and myself moaning and groaning about all the time we've spent here. But don't let us fool you. We really loved it. Just don't ask us to do this again for at least another 25 years. Miss McGee, I found out that you really don't like being the center of attention. But honestly, it was impossible to celebrate the past 25 years without mentioning you. You were the only one who survived, who's been here from the start, and is still here. Would you please come up here and accept this token of our appreciation?
Sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Russell High School. Happy birthday to you.
Friends, that's what makes it all worthwhile. Believe me, that's what makes it worthwhile. Kids, you did great. At this time, I would like to thank everyone for having joined us. And for our guests, if you would please, we do need to send the children back to our classrooms, but we would invite our guests to join us in our library, which is just down the hall. There are some refreshments there, and then once the children have been dismissed for the day, we would like to return to this room and have you join us also. And at that time, we'll have an opportunity to meet some former staff members that are with us, people that have been involved in our school over the years, and a good time for reminiscing and meeting old friends. And we do thank you for coming.